Kara Reber, the head coach at Florida Southern Women's Lacrosse.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, first time on Sports Central, but not your first time. You've been the, I just butchered that one. First time on Sports Central, but you were the long-time coach at Florida Southern, the first women's lacrosse coach they've ever had.
Yes.
So the program for how long now?
I think this is our 14th season there.
Wow.
So our first season was in 2012.
I'm a big fan of lacrosse right off the bat. I had my youngest son, who is now a captain in the Air Force, played. He went to school at Central Florida Aerospace Academy, but they were tied to the Dreadnought, not the Dreadnoughts. Goodness.
Jenkins?
No.
Kathleen.
Kathleen, yeah. So anyway, he played lacrosse and absolutely loved it. And it's, you know, when your kid is playing, you obviously see the inside, the outside, and all of that type of stuff. That is a brutal sport, you know.
Yeah, it's the men's and women's game is very different, but it's definitely really fun to watch. And this year, I got the opportunity that all three of my kids all played high school lacrosse this year as well. So it's been a busy spring for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they play on two different teams, so
yeah,
very busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So travel lacrosse, or
they do travel,
well?
but two of them played for Bartow High School this year, and then my youngest started at LCS this year, and they started the program, the girls lacrosse program there this year, so got to see her play as well.
Are you seeing female lacrosse really growing right now?
Yeah, I think it is. I am worried about Polk County with its growth with the adding of flag football. I think that is going to take some athletes away from the opportunities that might be there for lacrosse, but it definitely is a big sport across the country, and a lot of schools adding it and seeing the benefits of lacrosse.
So back to Florida Southern, you guys play in one of the most competitive districts in.
Yes, it is the most competitive conference in the country. I think right now we have nationally ranked 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 14, and 20. So there's only one team in our conference not in the top 20.
So what's it like having the big competition, the arch rival so close?
I love the competition. Doing our out of conference schedule sometimes is difficult because teams don't always want to play us because they don't want a loss in their win-loss column, but. So it's difficult. So the coaches that are willing to have that competition and get their teams better and play that, those are good for us. So our team loves competitive games, and we would schedule all of these teams regardless of if they were in our conference or not. So it really just leads for a really exciting ending of the season through conference play and then conference tournament, and we will likely see 3 of these teams again in the national tournament as well.
So and speaking about University of Tampa, so you probably get a lot of fans traveling back and forth between the two as well. So you get a lot of fan support when you're there.
Yeah, and our families travel really well. Like our families support lacrosse so much that they come all the time, and so we do have a big fan base really wherever we go.
Wow. You have a new performance center at Florida Southern.
Yep.
Made a difference for you guys?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's just the weight room is so much nicer, bigger, provides the opportunity for the athletes much greater training. But for our women's lacrosse program, we finally have our own locker room. We've shared a locker room with women's soccer for the past 14 years, so it's really nice that we have our own space, and it's definitely state-of-the-art locker room. And shout out to our alumni because they were the ones who sponsored the lockers in there. So we got 40 sponsorships in the locker room to help pay for that, and it's definitely the nicest locker room on campus. And not only there, but I have an amazing Lakeview office now, and there's also the recovery room with cold plunge tub and recovery boots. So it's definitely a nice addition to our athletic program for sure.
So you're up there on top of the performance center.
I am.
That's a heck of a view.
Yes,
that might be one of the nicest views in Lakeland, right there.
Yes, and I know everybody loves my view, and I'm glad you love it because I look at the wall, but everybody coming in gets to look at the lake.
So having been involved in women's sports for as long as you have, the changes that you've seen, both amateur and professional, or college and professional. What's that like? I mean, you get to see it sort of evolve from, I mean, the point now that we actually know a professional female volleyball's name, rather basketball player's name, you know, I mean, things like that. The women's sport has just evolved, blown up in the 20 years you've been involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the exposure, right? I think when people can see it and you've got a good product to put out there and you can garner the support for it, they realize that it's a great thing to watch and a great thing to be a part of. And I think a lot of people in Polk County should come to a lacrosse game, because really, if you don't see it, you don't really know what it is. And a lot of times on TV, you're watching the men's game and thinking that it's, you know, this somewhat barbaric sport, because they're just literally killing each other with the sticks, and ours isn't quite like that. But the flow of it is so nice, because it's a lot of basketball and ice hockey, just kind of flow of the game, just a lot of different strategic offenses and defenses that you can find in basketball. And this year, more than ever, our girls have made offense so fun. They have scored a number of behind the back goals, which you think, oh, there's no chance they're taking a shot, and then they just whip it behind their back and score. And they've been a lot of fun to watch this year.
Okay, I've always liked watching and doing interviews that are up close and personal. How did you get your start in lacrosse?
I kind of got forced into it.
Okay.
I was doing my student teaching. I had gone back to school to get my degree to be a PE teacher and coach, and they had no coach for the JV girls lacrosse team at the high school I was student teaching at. So they took me and a new swim coach and said, hey, you guys are in charge of the JV team. So we did not have it when I was growing up. It started the year after I graduated high school.
And you grew up in Rochester, New York?
Yep.
Okay.
And then, so we did that. And then when I started teaching, I helped out with a varsity lacrosse team and just really picked it up quickly, because I have a soccer basketball background, and was able to kind of pick it up and go from there. So I am a very strategic mind. So I see a lot of the different things that you can manipulate on offense and defense to work out in our favor. So it's definitely, for me, a lot of fun.
Well, let me do a follow-up question to that. You have 3 kids. They all play lacrosse.
They do.
Okay. Now, you're a coach, but you're a mom. So when you go to the kids' games, do they have to strap you down? I mean, how does that work? Is it tough?
There's a lot of difficulty in it. My youngest does a great, she comes in the car, sits down, and goes, feedback. Give me feedback. I go, you want feedback? She goes, I do. I said, okay. And then there's times where I don't have any. And she's like, no, come on, there's got to be something. So she's the one that wants the feedback. I don't provide feedback unless my older ones ask.
Okay, interesting. Hey, a good lesson for you guys on managing kids that you have in a sport that you have a passion for. It's really, sometimes it's a difficult thing to do. I think one of the toughest things when I was coaching Little League, oh my goodness, you get moms or dads, grabbing the backstop and screaming at their kids and screaming at the ump, and all of this type of stuff. And then if your kid's playing, then you've got to kind of dial it down yourself. And
so just a little background, and the follow-up question on that is, it must have been tougher to have your stepdad there when you were coaching.
Oh yeah.
Little League. So his stepdad was a pitcher for the Yankees. So that must have been the tougher part.
Yeah, that was, and he had a long major league career as a pitcher, and okay, I wonder what Grandpa Ryan is going to say about this one, and that one, and this, that, and the other. So you kind of, it puts a little more pressure on you. But anyway, that's all good stuff. But it's great to see that, the personal side, the professional side, and that's a tough balance. The whole point of that question was, it's a balance that you have to create. It's a work-life balance, and that's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Great stuff. You bet.